Simeon Booker, of course, longtime journalist, passed away on Sunday at the age of 99. And, of course, he wrote for a long time for Ebony and Jet magazine before becoming the first full-time black reporter for the Washington Post. Yesterday, we talked with Ebony Media CEO Linda Johnson-Rice about Simeon Booker and his mark on journalism and what he meant to the publishing company started by her father, John H. Johnson.
I have to tell you, Simeon was the embodiment of Jet and Ebony in that he was an incredible journalist. He went wherever he needed to go to get the story. And most importantly, he really broke the story for us for Emmett Till, which really started in some ways, and some people believe this to be true, and I do believe it to be true, that was that depiction of Emmett Till in the casket, the photographs, the story that went around it, surrounding those photos really was the catalyst for the civil rights movement. And that was all obviously depicted through the pages of Jet, and with Simeon Booker at the helm, really shepherding that story through. And that was back in 1955. And, of course, my father, John Johnson, obviously supported Simeon Booker and in his both of them wanting to get this horrible and tragic story told and out in the public so that people could really see what was happening to African Americans and the injustice. So in that respect, he really was a pioneer and an incredible member of the Ebony Jet Johnson Publishing Company family for, 50 years or more. And also, he ran our Washington office, and he ran our Washington bureau for Jet mostly and Ebony as well. And so, during his tenure, everybody in the Congressional Black Caucus during that time, they knew exactly who Simeon Booker was because he was on the Hill, he was interviewing people. So that was his beat. As a parent, it's devastating. It's devastating. Nobody wants to outlive their child. It's just not the nature of it's not the law of nature. But that being said, Mamie Till Mobley was very brave. She wanted the world to see the injustice that had been done to her son as a young black boy, 14 years old. Simeon Booker, at the same time, understood that Jet, with its tremendous voice and power into the black community, would be the best place and a catalyst for change if the pictures and the story were run. My father, in turn, obviously being the steward and the helm and the guiding light of Jet, agreed with this. And I remember, my father would recount stories to me of printing these pictures and saying, at first I was afraid to print them, but I knew that if I didn't, we wouldn't be able to make a difference here. And I knew that if I printed these pictures, they would make a difference. And having Simeon Booker write the story, follow the story, shepherd it all the way along, you needed a journalist who was courageous, who was smart, and who had a sensitivity to civil rights. And that was what Simeon Booker had. I have to say, I think the Emmett Till story, that was the catalyst for change. That was the catalyst for showing the cruelty, man's inhumanity to man, how unfair it was for African Americans, especially young men, and to be brave enough to run this story and to be the shepherd of the story is really a tremendous legacy. And the legacy also is all of the stories that he contributed to Ebony and Jet, and I'm sure to the Washington Post as well. But I'm only going to speak about Ebony and Jet because that is obviously near and dear to my heart. And I think, his legacy lies in his writings. He brought that all black, all the time perspective. I don't know how that can't be a part of who he was and a part of his DNA. So he went to an African-American school. So, African-American educated. So everything that was instilled in him was about the ability to achieve as an African-American. And so I think that was important and a pivotal part of him bringing that perspective to Ebony and to Jet. So he always had the black perspective first and foremost.
All right, again, Simeon Booker dead at the age of 99. And as I said yesterday, this is his book, Shocking the Conscience, a reporter's account of the civil rights movement. Trust me, it is a book that you certainly want to get. And so prayers go out to his family.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no.
That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.